So when it comes to the Penguin, the DC series that's just finished airing on HBO, it was a massive breakout success for DC, one of the best things, if not the best thing DC has ever made when it comes to TV series. But guys, we've overlooked a major Easter egg, a major character reference that they've alluded to, the Scarecrow. The costume itself actually appeared on the show. The mask and the glove was in the office of Dr. Julian Rush. We overlooked it, nobody saw it, and all of a sudden, one of the members of the community has put on their cape and cowl, done some kind of detective skills, and looked through the episode and found the Scarecrow's costume just sitting on his desk in one of the episodes. We have some screenshots and details to break down regarding this, but yeah, the Scarecrow potentially actually appeared in the Penguin series, which is kind of crazy. It was overlooked, nobody saw it, and I'm so surprised here. So let's jump in, break it down, and see what's going on with the Scarecrow. So this comes to us from comicbookmovie.com. The Penguin finale may have teased the Batman Part 2's villain. Was Dr. Julian Rush originally Scarecrow? So yeah, Dr. Julian Rush, I thought this character was actually imaginary. The scenes in Arkham where he's talking to Sophia, I thought he was actually a real character. But then outside of Arkham, whenever he was having a conversation with Sophia Falcone, I always thought that he was imaginary outside of Arkham, that she imagined him to deal with her kind of, with her stress, with her problems and issues that arose from the trauma going through Arkham. I thought he was just an imaginary character outside of Arkham. But I may have been wrong on that. That's the theory that a lot of people had out there. So anyway, let's dive into this. So Theo Rossi's Dr. Julian Rush is one of the Penguin's most intriguing supporting characters. He's also a complete creep and someone with a weird, unhealthy infatuation with his former and now current patient Sophia Falcone. Rush was created for the series, and contrary to online theories, wasn't ultimately revealed as Dr. Hugo Strange. However, new evidence has surfaced which suggests he was either meant to be Dr. Jonathan Crane or at least someone with close ties to Scarecrow. As you can see below, episode 4, called St. Annie, features both Scarecrow's mask and his syringe glove on 2 stands. So we actually get parts of the Scarecrow's costume in episode 4. We have the screenshots that we'll check out in a second. But the fact that episode 4 came and went, and nobody had picked up on this. Episode 4 came and went. A lot of people did breakdowns on YouTube, on social media, talking about it, but not one person that I remember after episode 4 talked about this or screenshot it or spoke about Scarecrow's costume being in this episode. But it looks like a member of the community, like I said at the beginning, was going back or potentially watching it for the first time and managed to just find this picture of this costume of Scarecrow, which is pretty incredible. So that wasn't there in the second episode, and as the eagle-eyed Redditor who spotted this points out, Sophia barges into the office in episode 4 unannounced, suggesting Julian didn't have time to hide them. So given the obvious similarities between Bliss and Scarecrow's fear drug, could the Batman Part 2 reveal that Crane is secretly working in Arkham under the fake moniker of Julian Rush? It's not certainly not outside the realm of possibility. So either way, a new take on Scarecrow would be fitting for the Batman Part 2. I would love to see Scarecrow. My ultimate all-time villain of Batman's Rogues Gallery is Killer Croc, but this is a more grounded take on the Batman mythology. We're not going to get a Killer Croc. He's not going to show up. So as my second favorite villain of all time, the Scarecrow, sign me up. I would love this to be real if the Scarecrow is the villain of the upcoming Batman Part 2. Given Gotham City drug problems, the last time we saw the villain on screen was in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy, where he was played by Cillian Murphy. And Cillian Murphy did a fantastic job. So, with that information there of seeing Scarecrow's costume in the episode 4 of The Penguin, we're going to go over to Reddit now, and we're going to check out those images and some more information about what's going on with the Scarecrow. So, landing over here on Reddit, this comes to us from the Reddit page, The Batman Film. So, something really interesting in Julian Rush's office. So, I was rewatching St. Annie, episode 4, and noticed some extremely interesting objects in Julian's desk. These were not there in the first scene with Julian's office, episode 2, where Sophia has PTSD meltdown. In that episode, in order to ground her, he especially tells her to look at the pictures on the wall and the objects on his desk. His desk is totally normal at that point. So we're talking about episode 2. There's nothing on his desk. It's completely normal. There's nothing there. So if you go and rewatch this scene in St. Annie, episode 4, you'll notice Sophia herself briefly checks out these objects as she walks around the room. And when she is going through his desk, if you look at where her sight line actually is, it's on his desk, not in the drawer with the pills. Something interesting to note is that she's not really supposed to be there in that episode. She's only there as an accident or emergency. It seems plausible plot-wise that Julian didn't have chance to put these things away like he perhaps normally would if he knew someone else was going to be in his office. Then again, he's so manipulative, maybe he left them there for her to see. That could be possible, yeah. Maybe he knew that she was going to be coming at some point. He left out those props so that she would see it, whether she sees it in her subconscious or actually sees it, for real and kind of points it out. But yeah, he could manipulate her by leaving parts of that costume there, or potentially it could be a mistake and he didn't mean to leave it out. So it could go either way, but either way we look at it, that would be an interesting scenario, whether he meant to leave it out or whether he accidentally left that costume there. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see either way. So just food for thought that I thought this sub might appreciate. Bonus edit: for those rewatching the scene, there is also a brown flattish circular object in the center of his desk that I can't quite make out. It's hard to see in my screenshots below, but there are a few blink and you'll miss it shots of it behind where his nameplate would normally be. He and Sophia are talking. So this is the image here, guys, and this is really damn cool. This is, when I saw this, like, I was so damn excited that I saw this. It could be nothing. It could be Easter eggs. It could have no relevance to what's going on in the future. So let's just put that out there. But either way, this is still really cool to see that the Scarecrow is potentially part of this Crime Saga universe. So let's go on these images here. Let's zoom in. So we're zoomed right in here. As you can see here, we've got the mask, and then on the left, we've got the glove as well. It's on his office here. And it says in the middle here, there's like this round object, but we can't quite make out what that is. But yeah, that's definitely the mask of the Scarecrow, and that's definitely the hand, the hand with the needles on it. And when I first saw this, damn, it was so damn cool to see this, like I keep saying. So let's zoom back out. Let's go back to this page. So again, if we go back to this image here without the red circles, you can kind of see it a bit more clear. We've got the mask and we've got the glove, and then in the middle there's something here, but we're not quite sure what this is on the middle of the desk. I think this is wicked cool. I would love to see this. I've got a couple of close-up images. I kind of zoomed in, so let's take a look at those as well. But yeah, I mean, this glove is chilling as hell. Could you imagine seeing this, the Batman Part 2? This guy coming out of the shadows, wearing Dr. Julian Rush, kind of revealed as Scarecrow. He comes out with the kind of the sack head, that Scarecrow wears. And he comes out with this glove with these big needles on it. Like, that would be freaky as hell. But I would love to see what Matt Reeves would potentially do with the Scarecrow in the Batman Part 2. That would be amazing. But then again, like I said, we need to hold our expectations in check, because this could just be an Easter egg that goes nowhere. It could be a reference to Scarecrow that ultimately is just fan service that has no relevance to future events. So we need to make sure that we have our expectations in check. But either way, this is explosive. This is cool to see the Scarecrow. Regardless, whether it's just a costume, a picture, whatever, to see him pop up in the Penguin and the Batman universe here is really, really cool. So up next, we're going to pop over to X here and check out this post and read this information. So from Bobber Talks. Wow, someone has sent me this Reddit post, and it shows an Arkham-esque inspired Scarecrow glove and what appears to be a Scarecrow mask in Julian Rush's office. I was told by a source a long while back that originally on the production details that Theo Rossi was written as Jonathan Crane on paper very early on, and it changed. Wow, so his character was actually going to be Jonathan Crane, but they changed it. Okay. I spoke to them about it, and we perhaps thought it was to mask things, perhaps a code name, but then when he turned out to be just Julian, we just concluded perhaps things changed behind the scenes. I honestly don't know. But it's so intriguing that this can still be seen in the background. Credit to the user for finding this. Obviously, credit to the user that we just, the post on Reddit that we just looked at. So again, we have these images here. You can see Dr. Julian Rush is sat here in this scene. Sophia Falcone is laying down on this couch here. Again, we see the huge glove. We see the mask as well here to the right, in between his arm and the couch. But yeah, the glove looks creepy as hell. Sophia would have absolutely seen this. There's no way she would have gone into the office and not seen this. Maybe she made a comment and spoke to him about it off screen. Talking as a fan, maybe off screen, the two characters had a conversation about it. She asked him about it. Potentially, there could be something formulating in the background that we haven't seen between Sophia and Dr. Julian Rush. We don't know how that relationship looks behind closed doors, so we'll have to wait and see if that relationship between those two characters kind of shows itself in the future of the Crime Saga universe. So moving on to the next image, again, you can clearly see in the yellow boxes here, the mask and the glove, the image we've already looked at. Again, we've got this super close-up image here of what this glove looks like. It looks like Freddy Krueger, but like, this is so damn creepy, man. Like, needles creep me out, and having a glove with like needles on it coming at you would just be terrifying. Like, coming out of the mist in the darkness in an alleyway, attacking someone, like, just gives me the heebie-jeebies. So again, another close-up of the kind of the sack mask. We can't really make out much detail. It just looks like a, you know, like a sack, like a brown sack. You can't really make out any kind of like eye holes or mouth, or it's really hard to make out any details. Again, there's this big kind of like claw or hook. Is this potentially the top of the mask here? I'm not really sure what this is. Something extending off the top. But yeah, it's hard to make out any details. From what I can see, it looks like this could potentially be the eye sockets here. The nose and then the mouth. If you guys can make that out. One eye there, a nose, and then a mouth. That could potentially be what we're looking at. It's really hard to make out. Obviously, it's zoomed in. It's very pixelated. But this is awesome. I really, really like this. Do we have anything else to look at on this article? In related news, fans are convinced that the Penguin finale was hinting at the Court of Owls. Yeah, we have to dive into this reference as well before we finish off the video. Running things in Gotham. There's long been speculation about them appearing in this franchise, and it's interesting that imagery like this was featured in place of power like a courtroom. So if we go down here, for those of you who may not be aware, the Court of Owls is a secret organization introduced in Batman issue number 1 in 2011 by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Hidden within Gotham for centuries, the court manipulates the city's elite, influences events from the shadows. They are known for using highly trained assassins called Talons, who are nearly immortal due to their special resurrection technology. So let's have a look at this X post here. So from zero, owls in the courtroom ? Court of Owls, definitely 100% not a coincidence. Hashtag the Penguin. So we have these images here. I mean, we're actually in a court. And the courtroom has, you know, imagery that looks like owls. If that's not on the nose, then I don't know what is. But people have been crying out for years to get an adaptation on the screen of the Court of Owls. It's one of the most compelling stories of the Batman mythology within the comics, and people would love to see the Court of Owls play out on the big screen. I think Matt Reeves knows this, and I think going into the future, whether it's Batman Part 2 or Part 3, there'll be more and more references, potentially leading up to the Court of Owls in Batman Part 3. Maybe they'll allude to it in Batman Part 2, and we'll get more references, and then in number 3, Batman Part 3, we'll find out that they've been pulling the strings all along from behind the shadows. That would be super interesting. But yeah, these definitely look like owls. This is definitely a nod to the Court of Owls. If it's not, then, you know, it is a massive coincidence. But Matt Reeves knows what he's doing. He knows this is a reference. They put that in there on purpose. They knew fans would be talking about it. Exactly what we're doing now. So, yeah, definitely a Court of Owls reference there. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are, guys. So, we have those images. Let me just go back over and find them. So, we have these images here of Dr. Jonathan Crane, Scarecrow, his mask, his glove, the injection kind of fingers, the mask here. You can clearly see the sack on the table. And then going back over to... I just lost it. And then going back over to this courthouse scene with Penguin. We can see Penguin on the left there in the court. We can clearly see this is imagery representing the Court of Owls, alluding to it. Are they going to show up, or again, is it just fan service with ultimately no connection to the future? We'll have to wait and see. Because obviously, remember, it's a superhero property. They put a lot of Easter eggs, references that don't necessarily have anything to do with future events. It's just fan service. So we'll have to wait and see if these references to Scarecrow and the Court of Owls, do they play out? Do they become the actual reality of the Batman crime saga going forward? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm so damn interested where this is going in the future, and I think it's going to be a super exciting time to be a DC fan with Matt Reeves' Batman crime saga playing out, and Court of Owls showing up, Scarecrow showing up. Sign me up, take my money. I can't wait to see this. So guys, I throw it off to you. Jump down in the comment section. What do you think about this, you know, about this fan spotting Scarecrow's costume in Dr. Julian Rush's office? Do you think this is cool? Would you be excited to have Scarecrow pop up in the Batman Part 2 or Penguin, possibly Penguin Season 2? I think Scarecrow would be great. Dr. Julian Rush as playing Scarecrow, I think he's a great actor and he would do a great job. And also, what do you think about the Court of Owls being referenced in the courthouse scene within the Penguin? Would you like to see the Court of Owls, play out in the Batman crime saga in Batman Part 2 or Penguin Season 2? I would love to see the Court of Owls. I think it'd be so interesting. So guys, I throw it off to you. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff that's been popping up in the Penguin and what's going on with Batman Part 2. Can't wait to hear your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next video.